Welcome back to the Cardinal Report. Joining us now is women's volleyball head coach Karen Bunkenburg. Karen, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
We'll start with last year a little bit because I think it's pretty important to see where we've gone from last year to this year. 18-17 last year, still a winning record, but less success than you had in years past. Why would you struggle a little bit there?
I think it was a combination of some things, but mostly it just came down to some chemistry and how we played on the floor in certain rotations. I don't think it was for lack of talent. Just happened to be the way things worked out last year, but certainly has made this current season, a lot more exciting. It
has been exciting. 18-14 so far, your unbeaten conference play, and a lot of new blood. 10 freshmen on the squad, 5 sophomores. How has that new blood kind of affected the way you're coaching the team?
Honestly, it's just been kind of fun. We've had a really good time with the whole group, from the seniors down to the freshmen, and I think I give a lot of credit to our older players for making the new kids feel welcome. And certainly the fun thing about freshmen and new kids coming in is there's no preconceived notions, there's no scared to play certain teams, so they just kind of come in and play. And they've brought a really fun attitude to the team, and I keep using that word, but it's just been a nice, fun season. So we're excited to have them, and they're working hard, and I really have just enjoyed working with this group.
Now, because they're freshmen, they're new to the program, sort of learning on the fly. Have there been any coaching challenges to that?
I wish I could say that there were, but they're a pretty receptive group. I mean, certainly they're freshmen. They make mistakes, and they have their certain moments out there, but we've been able to let them be freshmen and not have to put too much pressure on them because we have some really good upperclassmen that have led for us, and that have really allowed them to be those young players and not have to step up for anything other than just to play, which is nice.
You talked about the seniors. There are only 3 seniors on the squad,
right.
a lot of playing time for these 3 seniors. What have they brought to the table, and how have they kind of indoctrinated these freshmen into the program?
Certainly Jenae Harner has done a fabulous job being not only a leader on the court, but a leader off the court. She's one of our captains. And from the end of last year to now, she's kind of been one of the people to step up and lead and challenge people, but also to really kind of push them. She's been very organized. I give credit to Kayla Murphy as well as a senior, kind of changing positions for us this year. We asked her to move from outside to right side, which late in your career is not something you necessarily want to do, but she did it, and she's been very successful with it. And then I'd also kind of throw Sarah Eggert into there, one of our juniors who's a captain for us, our starting libero for the past 3 years, and has done a really nice job controlling the defense, but again, being one of those people off the floor to kind of keep pushing people to do better.
You got a lot of important games coming up, a lot of conference games. Again, you're unbeaten in the conference so far, but still a lot of heavy hitters coming up, including Carthage and Elmhurst. Ranked teams, what is the plan for those opponents?
We are seriously going to take this one match at a time. I was joking with someone just yesterday that we're kind of going into the gauntlet right now, with Carthage tonight, Milliken next week. We can't look past anybody, and then Elmhurst at the end to wrap up CCIW. These are 3 really good teams, 2, as you said, that are ranked in the country right now. And for us, it's one match at a time. And we've talked most of the season about preparing for CCIW, that every match we play in is kind of a challenge and a way to look at how are we going to prepare for the next CCIW match. So that's what we're doing. We've worked on our scouting report. We've talked about how we want to approach tonight's match, and that's what we're focused on. We know the other 2 are coming up, but we're concentrating on Carthage right now.
What were your expectations going into this year? I mean, you had a lot of young people, as you said, but they've stepped up. But going into the year, what were your honest expectations of the team?
I was excited, but I was very nervous because we were just such a new team. Few returners off last year's team. We had graduated 6 seniors, that most of whom played for us. And I knew we had a good core group back, but until you get those freshmen on campus or your new players on campus and you really see how they're going to mix with everybody else, I wasn't 100%. I had a good idea, but it's been a really nice transition this year, and we've been very excited with how everyone's kind of stepped up.
It's been a lot of fun for you.
Yes.
How would you compare this season to years in the past where you've had a lot of success as well?
I started by saying it's kind of about chemistry, and I would say that's what it comes down to. In past years where we've had good success, a few years ago we had a really nice team where we set some school records. This team is comparable in that chemistry. I'd love to say talent-wise we're right there. I think we're close, but it's going to be how we play down the stretch to see if we can hold up to those standards. But it's been a really a nice environment to work with this group this year.
Yeah, a lot of the success of the 2009 team is predicated on the fact that they, went so far in the conference tournament and, the national tournament. Is that something you expect from this team, or are you just kind of weighting down your expectations?
I don't want to,
right now?
you know what, I honestly don't want to put that pressure on this group. I think they need to really feel comfortable with what they're doing. That's kind of how we've handled each week. This is what we're doing this week, and we're going to stay focused on that. I think for someone like a Jenae Harner, it's probably something in the back of her mind where she's thinking, this is where I was as a freshman. She was on that 09 team as a first-year player, made it to the national tournament. So I think for her, seeing us get back to the CCIW tournament first and foremost, because we haven't been there in a couple of years, is a big step. And so I think that's our focus right now. Looking anywhere beyond that would be a little presumptuous, I think.
You were the coach back in 1998 to 2001, and you left for a couple of years to go to Benedictine, but you came back. Why'd you come back?
North Central College is a good place to be. I love the atmosphere of the college. I love the community of the college, and honestly, the CCIW is a great conference to coach in. It's competitive year in and year out. You're not going to have a down year with that conference, and I love that challenge. I just really feel like it's a good place to be competitive, where we can be successful. And honestly, we get great student athletes, and I really appreciate that.
And you get new student athletes here that you're kind of teaching quickly, right?
We're trying. Definitely trying.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks for joining us. Stay with us. After the break, we'll talk with a few of the upperclassmen setting the example for this women's volleyball squad. Next on the Cardinal Report.
Today is Saturday.
60 minutes of physical activity a day and eating well can help get your child healthy. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov. That's letsmove.gov.
We're back here on the Cardinal Report. Thanks for staying with us. Joining us now from the women's volleyball team are junior Sarah Eggert and senior Jenae Harner. Ladies, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
So you are two of the upperclassmen leaders on this team, a team with 10 freshmen, 5 sophomores. Is it kind of feeling like babysitting out there?
I think they're all very mature. I would say that we have a very good team that I don't feel like I'm babysitting. I feel like they're up there on the skills.
How about you?
I'd agree. I mean, I'm younger than Jenae, so they're more on my level.
Jenae, we were talking with Coach about you're a senior now. You're with that 2009 squad that went pretty far, had a lot of success, had a little bit of bumps along the way from here, from then on to here. Talk a little bit about that road and how exciting it is to be near the top of the CCIW again right now.
It's so crazy. I know as a freshman, I didn't expect to go, the national tournament at all. Like I thought it was normal. I was like, this is what we do. And then, coming into a few more challenging seasons, it was definitely a little bit of a letdown. But I know this year, I've never been so excited. Like, now that I realize how big of a deal that it is that we're being so successful, I know it's definitely making a great senior year for me. And I'm very excited for our team.
And junior year for you, so you still have one more left, but how exciting is it for you to be with the top of the conference right now?
Yeah, it's very exciting, and I've never experienced the CCIW tournament, seeing as how the last year was her freshman year, so I came into this not ever making it, so it's very exciting.
And you're third in the conference right now in digs. You've been playing wonderful defense ever since you got into North Central. Talk a little bit about your mindset as you come into games and how you're helping out the team.
I just come into every game. I just play like I want to play. It's just a lot of fun, and it's great that I didn't even know I was third in the conference. So obviously that's not really what's high on my mind. I just want to do good for the team and do the best that I can. And
Jenae, you last year you led the team in service aces. You were second in kills and digs, so you do it all. How important are you to the team in your opinion? I know you're probably going to say not very important, but very important, obviously, right?
I mean, you can't be the single person on a volleyball team. Like, there's 3 contacts that you can have on one side at a time, so you can't have all the contacts. So I can't take credit for being an all-around great player or whatever. Like, I need the whole team to be successful. So I need everyone to be important, not just me.
Freshman Laura Klug leading the conference in assists right now. Talk a little bit about what she's bringing to the table as a freshman and what she's kind of teaching the other freshmen as well.
She's done an incredible job coming in, being able to do offense, do defense. So I think she's also brought a lot of great chemistry, and she really communicates well, I think, with the team. And she spreads the floor, whereas in previous years I feel like we've been a little outside heavy, so just setting the outsides a lot. I think she's done a really good job of pushing our middles and pushing our right sides, so not focusing on one player, but spreading it so everyone can really get an attack, and then the defense or the opponent can't really pick on one person.
And how's it been for you guys? You're probably one of the defensive leaders. Do you teach these new players anything different, or you just kind of let them and do their thing?
Well, I kind of let them do their thing. If they have a question, they'll ask me. But a part of being on a team is you learn by watching other players. So I kind of just try to set a good example and try to do everything right so that they have someone to look to.
And who are the kind of players that you looked up to when you were coming up?
Stephanie Riding. I know my freshman year, coming in, trying to play back row, having Steph Riding next to me, I mean, she whooped me into shape. She was like, this is what you get, this is what I got, so do your job. I'm like, okay, Steph Riding. So she's definitely been the most influential player for me.
I'd agree with that. I watched Steph Riding before I even came to North Central, but another player I'd have to say was a huge influence was Jenae. Me and Jenae have played together for 3 years, so I think this is our year. That's what I thought coming into this. We're used to each other, so she had a lot of influence on me too. This is our year in terms of we're going to be very successful this year? Yeah, definitely. So I think it's showing.
Well, yeah, it obviously is showing. Unbeaten conference, you still got more conference games to play. We talked to Coach a little about taking one game at a time, but still you were picked in preseason polls to finish low, in the conference, 6th in the conference, and here you are atop the conference. You taking that as motivation later into the CCIW tournament? Absolutely. I mean, that was our thing when we first came in. They're like, we're ranked at the bottom. Are you kidding? Look at all this talent. Look at all these girls. Like, we should not be down there. So we've got something to prove, I feel like. So now being ranked higher up, I feel like it's a huge boost, and I feel like we have a lot to show. And Sarah, what are the expectations from here on out for a young team, but a team that has a lot of leadership as well? I mean, I'm just thinking about this year, so let's go far. Let's give them at least give the freshmen a good starting point so that we can continue it for next year and make my senior year a great year. Awesome. Thanks for joining us, guys. Really appreciate your time. Thank you. For more information on North Central Cardinals athletics, visit their website, northcentralcardinals.com. Until next time, I'm Justin Zipser. Thanks for joining us on the Cardinal Report.